right, so in this video, we're going to start talking about exponents and what they mean. So first, we're just going to talk about, the basics here. So a power, that is what we call the entire thing when we're looking at one of these equations. So power is made up of a base that is raised to an exponent. Exponent. Sorry, that's supposed to be an n, exponent. The exponent tells us how many times to multiply the base. So what this is, exponents are repeated multiplication. Just like when we learned, way back in elementary school, we used to learn, and this was a T on the end there, that we could have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. We keep adding 2's like this, right? This is repeated addition. Well, is there an easier way to do this? Of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I have 2 times 6, it would give me the exact same answer as 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 12 or 12. So there's always kind of an easier way to look at that. So repeated addition turned into multiplication. Well, if I have repeated multiplication, there's an easier way to write that. Instead of having to write, if it was all multiplication, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, I can use exponents to show that instead. So down here, we're going to go ahead and label this little diagram here. So this one is pointing at the 5. This is called the base. The base is always the bigger number there, right? And then the exponent is this other little piece here, and I know that on my screen it's a little hard to see. Hopefully the line is okay on your side. I know it looks better on the printout. For whatever reason, it's a very thin line on here. But there is one right there, boop, and it's pointing at the exponent. All right. And then this one is actually pointing to the circle. I circled the whole thing, and this is what we call the power. So the power is the entire thing, and then we have a base and an exponent inside of here. Okay. So with this one, what this is telling me to do is it's 5 2 times, not 5 times 2. Remember, language matters. How did I say that? I did not say 5 times 2. I said 5 2 times. That means 5 times 5. I did not say 5 times 2. So make sure you're paying attention to language. We just practiced that a whole bunch in the last couple of videos for section 1. So the way we say things, the way we hear it matters. Okay? So if we're going to look at some of the examples here, we have our introduction to exponents. So evaluate 2 to the 5th power, or with an exponent of 5. So how many 2's will we multiply? Well, 5 of them. That's what my exponent tells me. That exponent tells me how many times to use the base. Okay, I accidentally erased the 5 there. Well, let's put that 5 back. All right, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 2's, and I'm going to evaluate means to actually solve it. I want to know, what is this? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to go, well, what's 2 times 2? That's 4. And so then I could go 4 times 2 and get 8, or I could go 2 times 2 again and get 4, and then I have another 2 here, and I go 4 times 4 is 16, bring the 2 down, 16 times 2 is 32. So you just want to make sure as you're using them, you don't use them again. So 2 times 2, I already used those 2's to get this 4, so I'm not going to use them again in the multiplication problem. Now I'm going to move to my other ones that I haven't done. So I grouped 2 more of them and got another 4. And then I brought this one down. So the answer here would be 32. There is a button on your calculator that you can use to do this. Let me see if I can. Don't know. Oops, there's the calculator. All right. So on your calculator, just so that you can see it, because sometimes Alex will let you do this. The Alex calculator looks a little different, but it's got some of the same basic buttons. It's just set up longer usually than wider here. So with this one, there's these basic exponent buttons, so I can square things or cube things very easily by just clicking this button. So I always want to type the base in, and then if my exponent's a 2, I would click this button. If my exponent's a 3, I would click this button. If it's any bigger than that, usually calculators aren't going to have those exponents, but what you can do is this button here, which is X, Y. What that means is I'm going to click it, nothing happens, because now I have to tell it what is my exponent. And my exponent in this case is 5. So the answer is not 5, I do need to hit equals, and then I can see that it's 32. So That's just, a little tutorial on using the calculator there. So the second one, it says evaluate 5 to the third power. So I'm going to use 3 5s because there's a 3 there that's telling me how many 5s I'm using. So 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Bring this 5 down. 25 times 5. If I think of quarters, sometimes this is a little easier for students. If you think of quarters, if I had 5 quarters, I'd have $1.25. So I get 125. All right, so that is our introduction to exponents. Go ahead and go on Alex and give it a try.